Hello, everyone. In this episode, we're talking about GOAT, Crime 101, cold storage, and Wuthering Heights.
And for the second half, we talk about love in movies, specifically for a Valentine's Day episode.
I don't even like the word smoothie.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome to a new episode of the A-List Admission.
Yes. Happy belated Valentine's Day.
Yes. Do you say belated if it's
No,
belated?
but
Oh,
also
well.
happy almost family day.
There you go.
In Ontario.
Yeah, in Canada.
Or in Canada, yeah. Or is it all of Canada?
I think it's all of Canada.
Okay.
There is definitely some equivalent to it in the States, but it's not like family.
It is
It's
a
like-
stat holiday regardless.
Yes. But if you've never seen the A-List Admission, I'm Ricardo.
I'm Cheyenne.
And this podcast is all about watching the new releases of movies casually. So no,
Cinematography.
nothing in depth in terms of like how the shot looks, how the dolly of the camera moved, the lighting, all that kind of stuff. But we also wanted to give you our reviews so that way you know what to watch on Tuesday on the cheap night, whether you're a parent, whether you're a couple for like Valentine's Day, or you're single just wanting to go to the movies and have no idea what's to come.
Yeah, so in terms of personal news, usually what we do first, we had Valentine's Day at the Toronto Zoo because we are in the GTA, so it is the closest zoo. It's such a fun time, and the weather really cooperated for being winter still.
Yeah, normally if we go in the winter, it's very cold, and you're kind of running between different places, so that way you go into like the inside where it's a little bit warmer or very warm, depending on which exhibit you go into. Obviously, a lot of the animals weren't really outside just because it was a lot colder, unless there was an animal that could handle the cold. But yeah, no, we had a great time. I really like going to the zoo. I know Cheyenne loves going to the zoo. And we have a membership to the zoo, so we go pretty often.
And it's well maintained. The animals are like well taken care of and stuff, which is nice. So
yeah. The reason why we typically go to the Toronto Zoo is because we know how much effort there is in terms of conservation, in terms of trying to avoid extinction, right?
Plus it's in Canada and not too far.
Yeah. But I think it's one of those things where me and Cheyenne are very avid animal lovers, and so we don't want to support zoos that are too heavy on animal cruelty and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? And so, and like I know a lot of people are against zoos that like have a love for animals, and don't get me wrong, like we respect that opinion. It's just for us, like we want to support anything that's going to rehabilitate animals into the wild, that are taking care of animals that can't really fend for themselves, stuff like that, right? Like I know at the zoo, the blanding turtles is a big habitat thing where they will take in eggs of Blanding's turtles and rehabilitate them, grow them, and then put them into the wild near the lake that's nearby, or provincial park that's nearby. So it's stuff like that we really do support, and that's why we buy a yearly pass, is to help support the animals, right?
So yeah, it was a fun time.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I know we got into a big jargon about animals, but me and Cheyenne love animals. So
okay, you want to get into the movie news?
sure.
In a sad piece of movie news, rest in peace to James Van Der Beek. If you are not aware of who he is, he was most famously known for Dawson's Creek. He is a huge family man, has like, I think five or six kids with his wife. Anyway, he died on February 11th of succumbing to his stage 3 colorectal cancer. He was only 48. Very, very sad. He was very frail near the end as well. But yeah, rest in peace. That's such a sad story overall for him.
Yeah, we have had two very, very important people's deaths in the last two episodes, and so James Van Der Beek, I think all that's been online is also he's super kind, super friendly, very, very much a people's person, and apart from a phenomenal actor, he'll definitely be missed. Yeah. So the next one that we have is from Film Buzzer, and officially saying that The Mummy 4 will release on May 19th, 2028, with the original cast mostly returning, if not all returning. So Brendan Fraser's going to come back. Rachel Weisz is going to come back. And we're super excited for it. We love The Mummy. We've gone to the ride at Universal so many times, and yeah, it's just, I love The Mummy. The only thing that I'm curious of is, are they going to do kind of what Indiana Jones did with the third movie and bring a younger crew of people to kind of take over the mantle.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just excited to see Brendan Fraser in that role again, especially.
Yeah.
And Rachel Weisz and other stuff.
Yeah.
Next is from Screen Thrill, where Jerry Bruckheimer has officially confirmed that they are making an F1 sequel. The original film grossed $630 million worldwide. It was Apple's biggest theatrical hit. It earned 4 Oscar noms, including Best Picture as well. No timeline or anything, no plot, no nothing yet. But it has been confirmed that an F1 sequel is coming. What do you think?
I have mixed feelings about this. Like, I don't get me wrong, I really did like F1, but we went with a couple friends of ours that are avid F1 fans and stuff, and unless this new F1 is going to take the actual rules of the game way more seriously, I have a hard time knowing that it's sensational because it has to be for a movie. Like, I'd much rather them work in the confines of rules of the sport than them going too fictional where now it's not what would happen in a real sport. I did like the movie for the movie, but if I was a F1 fan going to see it and I know they broke so many rules, it kind of takes the fun out of that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, if they can do the sequel in the confines of the sport, the rules of the sport, I'm all in for it.
Yeah.
All right, so the next bit of movie news, brought to you by Screen Thrill again on Instagram, is that Sony Pictures Animation has announced that they're going to do a spin-off movie from the Spider-Verse future trilogy, and they're going to do a Spider-Punk movie and a Spider-Gwen movie. So we're going to see. I don't think anything has been confirmed in terms of dates yet. All we know is that Beyond the Spider-Verse is set to come out 2027, but again, that timeline has shifted so much, so we'll see. So Spider-Gwen, obviously going to think of Gwen Stacy and her version of Spider-Man, and then Hobie Brown for Spider-Punk and his version of Spider-Punk. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and especially for these two characters that haven't had a whole lot of solo stories given out. More Spider-Gwen than obviously Hobie Brown, but I'm excited for it. I want to see how it goes.
Okay, so that's it for the movie news. When it comes to actual movie reviews, this weekend, because it's a long weekend, was a hotbed of new releases.
Oh, yeah.
There were actually 5. 2 of them were on the lower end of finding them in theaters. And to be honest, we just didn't have time to watch the 5th one, but we did crush through 4. The 5th one we'll see next week, and we'll review it at the end of next week.
All right, go for it. The first one we watched was?
Goat.
Then we watched Crime 101, sorry.
Then it was Cold Storage.
And then finally, Wuthering Heights.
That everyone's been talking about,
yeah,
unfortunately.
So go ahead.
Because we're just not... Well, we've talked about not being big romance fans, but there's been some romance movies that we've really enjoyed. This is a totally different ballpark.
But the one movie that we did miss was Good Luck, Have fun, don't die.
Exactly.
Sorry, that one I've screwed up the title, just like us talking about it so much that I knew I was going to screw it up. But we will watch that movie before the next episode.
It's also been only in one theater nearby, and it's in times that completely clash with our working schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
So we will get to it just in time.
Yep. But yeah, let's go for Goat first.
Yes. So Goat it came out officially on February 13th, 2026, which is the day we also watched it. The director and co-director are Tyree Dillahay and Adam Rosette, and it's rated PG for some rude humor and brief mild language. And it has a runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes. And the main cast include a lot of people, a lot of well-known people.
A lot of people.
Including Caleb McLaughlin, Gabrielle Union, Stephen Curry, Nicola Coughlan, Nick Kroll, David Harbour, Jennifer Lewis, Aaron Pierre, Patton Oswalt, Andrew Santino, Bobby Lee, Wayne Knight, Eduardo Franco, Sherry Cola, Jelly Roll, and Jennifer Hudson. And the spoiler-free synopsis goes as follows. Set in a vibrant world populated by talking animals, the story follows Will Harris, a determined young goat with big dreams of playing Roarball, a high-intensity, co-ed, full-contact sport dominated by the fastest and fiercest athletes in the animal kingdom. When Will gets a rare chance to join the pros, his new teammates doubt him because of his size. Undeterred, Will sets out to prove that smalls can ball and change the game forever, learning about teamwork, perseverance, and believing in yourself along the way. It was also partly produced and partly voiced by Stephen Curry himself, the NBA star. So, What did you think of Goat?
So, out of all the animated movies that Sony has done, this is maybe not the highest on the list,
No.
for sure. But out of the movies that we saw this weekend, it's pretty good.
It's honestly the best of the four.
I completely agree.
I was like, I kind of went downhill, except for Cold Storage.
It went up and down, but this was
yeah.
definitely the best movie that we watched all weekend. I really relate to the idea to being underestimated, but also like I'm maybe more inclined to animated movies I find recently than other movies. But that being said, like I fell in love with Will's story. I fell in love with the idea that he just needed a chance to prove himself. I mean, one of the things that you'll come to know with any Sony's animated movie is that they have now created their signature animated style. So whether it's the Spider-Verse universe, the Puss in Boots Last Wish, K-pop Demon Hunters, like you'll know it's all Sony animated picture style now to do it the way that they've been doing it. So if you're not a fan of that animation style, I'm sorry, that's just how it's going to be from now on, from what it looks like. But that being said, I think it kind of really worked with this. The other thing I noticed is that the animals thing, as much as I liked it, it did give me a lot of Zootopia vibes. And I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, I think this is good. It obviously is nowhere near Zootopia 2.
Well, it's probably because it's animals again. So now, unfortunately, in the circumstances, any movie that involves a lot of different animals is just going to be related to Zootopia.
I agree. And it kind of rides the coattails of that a little bit. But just for the story alone, I think the story is really good. I think it has a lot of what a normal kids animated movie has, where it's a lot of like good lessons of it. You get a lot from it, a lot of relatability to it. Like obviously the dancing of the young Will was very something Gen Alpha would do. I'm trying to think of what else to really say out of this. Like obviously it being basketball is very relatable. Stephen Curry is very prominent in the basketball scene, so obviously that works really well for this movie. And him voicing one of the main characters of this movie was very, very much important to that. Yeah, honestly, by the end of it, I was really happy with it.
It's also, I think, the only kid-friendly-ish movie for Family Day weekend and the long weekend.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think this will definitely get its money back.
1,000%.
Plus, the amount of famous people in this movie and the next movie is incredible.
Yeah, we were kind of initially when I heard about this movie, I'm like, oh, there's a few famous people in it. When we looked at the cast, dude, it was insane the amount of famous people in it.
It's really, and it honestly was so enjoyable. And one of my favorite moments was actually someone said something positive or like heartwarming in the movie, and a mom behind us went, period. And
it was so good.
It was the perfect timing. It was just, it was so funny. But I honestly felt so good afterward.
Yeah, no, this was definitely one of those feel-good movies where, like, by the end, even though it's obviously you kind of can see where this movie is going to go to, it didn't take away from the moment of the end of the movie and how heartwarming it is and how lovable all the characters are and how relatable all the characters are, and just a story that you kind of want to show your kids about. So
what do you give it?
I'm going to rate it a 7.
Okay, mine is 6.5. But
yeah, I'm going to rate it 7 because, especially considering all of the movies we watched this weekend, and we're like halfway through February now, and like this is still
one of the better.
Of course. Yeah, so even though it's only been like a month and a half, I do think this is definitely on the top of the last month and a half that we've seen. Not saying it's the best or the worst. I'm just saying like it's definitely in the top half of movies that we've saw. So yeah, I think a 7 is very fitting for this movie.
Okay, and I'll stick with 6.5.
Yep, same idea. Okay, and the next movie we watched was Crime 101, which came out in Canada February 13th, 2026. The director is Bart Layton. The rating is R for language throughout, some violence and sexual material/nudity. And the runtime is 2 hours and 19 minutes approximately, with your main cast being Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Halle Berry, Barry Keoghan, Monica Barbaro, Corey Hawkins, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Nick Nolte. And the spoiler-free synopsis is as follows. A gritty and stylish crime thriller set against the sun-bleached cityscape of Los Angeles, where at its center is Mike Davis, a highly skilled and elusive jewel thief whose string of high-stakes heists along the iconic 101 freeway have baffled law enforcement for years. Just as Mike eyes the score of a lifetime, his carefully planned world collides with Sharon, a disillusioned insurance broker grappling with her own crossroads. Meanwhile, Detective Lou Lubsnick becomes convinced he has finally decoded Mike's pattern and is determined to bring him in before the next big job. As the trio's paths intersect, the tension rises and the line between hunter and hunted begin to blur. Each character must confront choices that not only define who they are, but force them to face the harsh reality that there's no turning back once the stakes reach this high. Now, what do you think of Crime 101?
I was kind of disappointed. It is very long. It is like obscenely long for this story. I was very excited for another heist. It just isn't a strong heist compared to like Tower Heist or Ocean's 11. I needed a little bit more humor to this one. I was so excited though because the cast is incredible. Again, we usually say if there's a lot of A-list actors, it's not a great movie. But Goat was a good movie and it had a lot of so this one I was just like I was a little disappointed. It was pretty boring in a lot of parts.
Now, I think one of the things that this movie suffers from is that there's just too much planning and talking, right? And I know heist movies do have a lot of planning before the big thing. It just felt empty for a lot of this movie. Like there's a lot of talking to kind of get you into the speed of what the heist is going to be and all that stuff. It just felt it was leading up to a heist that wasn't that memorable. It was leading up to the paths intersecting felt way more convoluted than it needed to be. And then I felt like the motivation for the heist was just gone. I don't know. I felt Barry Keoghan wasn't utilized as well as he could have been. I didn't think that Chris Hemsworth, this is definitely not his best performance, to be quite honest with you.
I was a little disappointed because Jennifer Jason Leigh didn't get a lot of screen time for me because I loved her in Hateful Eight. And she, I think, won the Oscar for that too. And it just wasn't a lot. And even Nick Nolte wasn't in it a heck of a lot.
But even Nick Nolte's character was very like surface level. I think that's the other problem is a lot of this was very surface level and not very. Like I didn't care about a lot of the characters. Like
I didn't either.
Like I think Chris Hemsworth's character, especially for being one of the main three people in this movie, there was a lot of like I didn't find the emotion between what his personal life was versus the working life was. It didn't feel like there was a difference in character. It just felt very like one note almost.
A lot of things don't make sense. Like maybe I'll just say a relationship he has with a woman in it. How that starts makes no sense.
It felt very like
wishy-washy.
Yeah.
It's not appealing. If you like heist movies, it's just missing a solid heist.
Yeah, the heist I felt was like very like
it gives me the aesthetic of Hell or High Water, but Hell or High Water is 1,000 times better than this.
I was gonna say, but even Hell or High Water, like it felt like it had the length of Hell or High Water with not all because Hell or High Water doesn't have a lot of action.
No.
Like it has like maybe 2 or 3 scenes.
But the pacing is good. The pacing in this is too
That's
slow.
kind of what I was going to say too. Like the pacing of that movie is better, but also like the emotions between the characters, you felt real. It felt raw. It felt like you gave a damn about the both the criminals and the police officers, right? This I didn't care for Chris Hemsworth's character really at all. Barry Keoghan kind of just showed up whenever he wanted to. Halle Berry's character I cared a little bit, and then Mark I just kind of was like, man, he's just a bumbling fool for most of this movie. I don't know. I felt like there was so much more that could have been either added to the script or added to the characters, the acting of it to really enhance the character development of it. I think Mark Ruffalo and Halle Berry were the best 2 actors in this. But again, I think I just really needed more from Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
From it. I feel like Chris Hemsworth really dropped the ball in this one.
I'm going to give it like a 2.5.
I'm going to give it maybe a 3.5. And it's only because I think there's a lot of potential in this film.
But that didn't happen.
But it just
so
fell. Well, that's why I still rated it low.
Oh.
It's still under 5 for me.
Sure.
So I didn't like the movie.
Sure.
I just think it's like it's the seeds of a great heist movie, and it just missed every mark it could have hit. And like even the actors I thought were a good choice for a lot of the characters. It's just, again, it was like the missing thing from this being a good movie was the fact that Chris Hemsworth's acting was not the best, and the story just missed key moments that it really needed to hit.
All right, next up we have Cold Storage, which was released February 13th of 2026. The director is Johnny Campbell. It's rated R for language, creature violence, and gore, and it is an hour and 39 minutes. The main cast is easy: Liam Neeson, Joe Keery, Georgina Campbell. The spoiler-free synopsis goes as follows. A high-concept sci-fi horror thriller based on the novel by David Cope. The story begins decades ago when the U.S. government secretly seals away a dangerous parasitic organism inside a military storage facility, believing it to be safely contained. Fast forward to the present day, and that long-buried biohazard is accidentally released inside a self-storage building in suburban America. As the rapidly evolving fungus spreads and begins infecting its environment, a small unlikely group, including 2 ordinary employees and a government agent with knowledge of the original cover-up, must race to contain the outbreak before it escapes to the wider world. So what did you think of Cold Storage?
It was up and down for me. Like I really, there was moments I really liked. There was moments that were like kind of slow. I don't know. I have a weird...
He was way more excited than I was for this movie.
Well, I was excited because Liam Neeson and Joe Keery are my, like, I was what I was kind of holding on to for this movie, especially because I really like Joe from Stranger Things, and Liam Neeson, the last thing we saw him in was Naked Gun, so I thought kind of the riding that highs of both. I don't know, I like the comedy of that Liam Neeson's kind of been doing. This movie has a lot of comedy that I thought Liam Neeson really leaned into. I thought it was really good in that respect. It's kind of like a mix of Naked Gun to me and the stuff that Liam Neeson normally does, which is the really serious action, because it was still a very serious, like, action-y movie, but with a lot of like funny comedy from him, right? I don't know, there's moments of this movie that, like, I keep flip-flopping between I like it and I don't like it. I don't know. I thought that story wasn't really that strong.
It was still better than Crime 101.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Again, zombie movies, fungus, whatever, mid for most of them.
But it's not really a zombie movie.
No, but it actually reminded me a lot of The Toxic Avenger, just less language.
Oh, see, I didn't really like The Toxic Avenger, though. This I thought was more enjoyable than that.
Oh, I like Toxic Avenger.
See, for me, it was like, if you took the idea of The Last of Us, where a fungus took over and took over people and things, but make it a little bit more animated, a little bit more fun, a lot more like tongue in cheek. I thought that this kind of was that vibe to me. I think it had potential to be really interesting. I guess I wanted more emotional stakes for the characters, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's missing something. I just wish I had the words to describe what it was missing.
Fair.
Because I think again, similar to Crime 101, just did it a little better. Like, this has elements to being really funny and interesting. But
it's not
movie.
funny enough, and the story kind of just, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's chunks missing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I do think that there's also things that got thrown into this movie to try to make it more interesting that it, like, kind of backfired a little bit too. The animal stuff was interesting for sure. I don't know. I think the emotional stakes for the characters, I think, needed to be higher.
What do you give it then?
I gotta give it a 5.
Oh, I'm giving it a 4.
I give it a 5 because there's a lot that I like about this movie, but there's also a lot that it's missing.
Actually, I'll give it 4.5 because the next movie's going to be lower.
That's fair. But, like, I'm going to give it a 5 because this to me is like a true, like, I'm struggling to find a placement of it. So I got to rate it right down the center. Like, I can't, there's things I like about this movie a lot, which is like the comedy, the acting I thought was really good. So, kind of the steps to get there, the pacing I thought was okay. A lot of it was good, but like the story lacked. There wasn't that much, like, I felt like things were shoehorned in to make it last longer and make it work longer. I thought there's still a lot of things that need fixing from this too. So that's why I have to rate it right down the middle.
Fair.
All right, and the last one we watched was Wuthering Heights, which came out February 13th, 2026 in Canada. The director is Emerald Fennell. The rating is R for sexual content, nudity, and thematic material. And the runtime is 2 hours and 16 minutes. The main cast is the only main cast you need to know about this movie, which is Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. So, the spoiler-free synopsis is as follows. Wuthering Heights is a bold new adaptation of Wuthering Heights, the book, reimagined with a modern edge while preserving the raw emotional intensity of the original Gothic romance. Set against the wild, windswept English moors, the story follows the turbulent bond between Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff, the two kindred spirits whose passionate connection defies social expectations and spirals into obsession. What begins as an unbreakable attachment becomes a force that reshapes families, fortunes, and futures. So, what did you think of Wuthering Heights?
You gotta be kidding me. Like, there's romance and then there's this. Like, I don't want to put much time and effort into this review because there's not much I can say without getting flagged. like it is so intensely sexual. Like,
yeah.
It is,
so,
yeah.
I'm going to try to explain this movie without using the buzzwords really as much. This is essentially just softcore corn. It is as graphic as you think it is. It is as obvious as you think it is.
And the other issue is Emerald's kind of getting under fire because she completely goes against the book. Without spoiling, she completely goes against the book.
If you know the book, it's not the book.
It's literally not the book. It's literally what they say. It's a modern twist on a classic, but I never read the original.
The other thing for me is, and I've come to kind of get to this point, and this will definitely maybe make a fun little TikTok for her. I'm not a huge fan of Jacob Elordi.
Me neither.
And the more I see him, the less I care about him.
I'm not gonna lie. He is not my type.
Well, in terms of attractiveness, I don't think he's the most attractive guy in the world either.
I will say at the premiere of Wuthering Heights, he had the best outfit on. If you haven't seen it, it's a long green like pea coat with a tail that's gorgeous in this green color. But like he has a nice face. The only thing I really appreciated him in was Saltburn, but it was more because of Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know we haven't seen Euphoria, and I know he's in that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But we've seen Frankenstein.
And even in Frankenstein, I wasn't really sold on his Frankenstein.
No.
In Saltburn, I really didn't care for his character that much. Again, I cared a lot more about Barry's character in that movie. I don't know. I'm not sold that he, like, as an actor as much. I wish. I don't know. This movie to me, there's a lot of issues with. I know Margot Robbie is just gonna be the best. Like, she was kind of the best part of this movie, but not even the sexual part of it. Is just literally, I mean, in the acting sense of this.
Oh yeah.
But like, I don't know. This was just a sex-filled movie where
it was.
It's if you like the sex fantasy novels
and it came out on Valentine's, you'll like it.
And I mean that seriously.
Or Galentine's.
I'm not going to say this movie is bad for everyone. I think there's going to be a lot of people that watch this movie because they want to see either Margot Robbie or Jacob Elordi naked, and that's valid. That's fine. If that's what you want to see, that's what you're going to get. But at the same time, like, this movie is just missing a lot of substance, right? It's just, I think, the excuse to have a sex fantasy movie.
Yeah, like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, and that's valid. If that's what you want to do,
again,
that's
not
exactly what this is, and that's just not our cup of tea. And so this movie to me is probably going to get a 2.5, 3. Like, I'm in that range.
I'm definitely giving it a low rating. I'm going to say like 1.5. Because it is not my forte. I'm not a fan of it. I don't need to see another version of that all the time. And it's not enjoyable because it's just kind of gross. Like, I'm just like, ugh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're just the wrong people to review this kind of movie.
Yeah, like, we talked about Young Werther last year, and that was romance, but not this. It was not, I don't even know if I can say BDSM, but it's
that's
like,
fine.
Anyway, it's very dominating. I'm like not about that. So.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of another movie that did this. Like, even Saltburn kind of did this to an extent,
but I enjoyed that.
I think the story was way better though. Like,
the story for this, it's just too old English vibes for me.
That's the other thing. Victorian
Gothic era of novels,
not great.
It's not my thing. I don't mind Pride and Prejudice, the movie with Keira Knightley
because
and Colin
Firth.
Sexual
though.
Wait,
like,
it is Colin Firth, right? No.
No.
No,
It's,
Matthew McFadden.
Thank
Sorry. Matthew McFadden and Keira Knightley's Pride and Prejudice is the only exception to this rule.
yeah, but even that is not as sexual.
No,
like
it's not.
It's a love story, not a sex story.
It's like romantically grotesque, and I just am not a fan.
I think the big problem is that not that Cheyenne and I are prudes. It's because that's kind of what it feels like now.
I know it seems like that. It's just I would rather go watch a 2-hour comedy or a 2-hour action movie than this.
Okay, so we've been surprised by a lot of love movies too. Like
Eternity.
Eternity was probably the best one that we saw last year, and that's a great one. But even
we saw that this year.
No, that was last year. That was a 2025 movie.
Oh, I know we liked Fall Guy.
Oh, Fall Guy is not even a romance movie. It's definitely more of an action film.
But I liked it because it mixed two things.
To kind of just jump into last year's, like we saw Regretting You. We had fun with that one. Not of the best, but sure, we had more fun with that one. We saw Materialist last year, and we enjoyed that one more. I think for me, I have a problem with nudity for nudity's sake and not nudity that is
for story's sake,
tasteful or for proper story reason. And this literally felt like this movie was made to have nudity as the selling point.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So out of the 4, I think we both can recommend Goat. So to see Goat, honestly, just go see Goat.
It's honestly a really nice movie, and like obviously it's more of a family movie. What was the other one that we regret? Cold Storage, I would say, is the second, but go see Goat. You'll enjoy Goat way more.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Okay.
Brings us to our second half, which is coming right off of the backs of Valentine's Day. We wanted to focus on love, whether it's chosen, whether it's conditional, or whether it's consuming. This week's films all explore relationships, but in wildly different ways. But we chose 3 movies, obviously one including Wuthering Heights, that really exemplify each version of love, right? The first one being Rental Family, which looks at chosen connection. The idea that sometimes love is built, intentional, even transactional at first, but becomes real through vulnerability. Eternity wrestles with the lasting love, how commitment stretches across time, and whether love survives change. And obviously Wuthering Heights, which shows us consuming love, obsessive, destructive, and passionate to the point of no return. 3 films that showed 3 different philosophies of love.
And the first thing to think about, too, is love as a choice or versus fate. So in Rental Family, the connection feels constructed because there's people stepping into roles, choosing to care, getting paid to care, and so on. In Eternity, the love feels destined because it's something bigger than circumstance. But in Wuthering Heights, the love feels inevitable and dangerous. So Catherine and Heathcliff don't choose it. They're kind of trapped in it. So is the strongest love the one you choose every day or the one you can't escape? I think it's the one you can't escape.
The strongest love? I'm in the opposite.
I don't know, actually. I mean, no, I know the one you choose because you actively choose that choice. Yeah.
For me, like, Eternity and Rental Family are like the purest form of love. Wuthering Heights is a form of love, but I find it can be fleeting, right? Like the burning, passionate, heavy love is great, but it could wear. Like, especially because we've all seen love movies that starts off super heavy and fast and full of love, but then grows to resentment or grows to a different form of it once like a marriage happens, once a life happens, and all that stuff, right? Even Eternity kind of deals with that in a great way. Now that we can talk about it and kind of spoil that movie. Well, like Elizabeth Olsen tries dating Callum or married Callum, then he dies quick and then marries Miles and lives 75 years with him. And then in the Eternity, she has to choose between the hot and heavy love at the beginning or the one that has lasted the test of time.
75 years.
Yeah, like he dies at 7, I think it's 75.
Yeah, but she didn't spend 75
Whatever.
years. Oh.
My point is that the long-lasting love of the one that she had first that never got a chance to flourish.
Sure.
By the end of the movie, she chooses Miles because Miles was the one that she chose to be with at the end of the day for the length of time.
Sure.
Right? I to me feel like that's the best version of love. There's no love that is longer than that, lasting than that. Like, sure, we could all pick the one that is the burning, passionate love, but I don't know. I feel like it's a lot more like endearing to know like the one that you actively choose every day, the one that is going to be there beside you all the time is a lot more.
No, I agree. I get intense,
it now. Right?
Yeah.
Cool. The second one is healthy love versus obsession, right? Rental Family leans towards the emotional growth and healing. Eternity examines endurance and sacrifice, and Wuthering Heights challenge us. When does passion cross into possession? So, do we romanticize toxic love stories more than healthy ones because they're more dramatic?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, like even Cheyenne mentioned it, like 50 Shades, right, is a one that people love to talk about and bring up because it's so toxic.
Or any of those like obsession love movies too.
Yeah, of course.
They last forever.
It is so toxic to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and people just love to fantasize about it. Sorry.
And the last one is about time and transformation. So all three of these films do explore how love changes over time. Rental Family shows that it's built from strangers, whereas Eternity is tested by time, and Wuthering Heights is destroyed by pride and revenge. So is love defined by intensity or longevity? I think longevity, because eternity is literally eternity.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead.
No, she decides one thing and changes it. So
I think love can start with intensity, but it is truly defined by its longevity. I think because people love to hear, oh, I've been married for 30 years, 40 years, 60 years. Like that to me is a challenge. It's enduring. It's a battle. It's growth. It's so much that I don't know. To me, like I know me and Shina have been married, but the idea that we're going to grow old together and have a place for us when we're 80 years old, to me sounds like love. Mm-hmm. Doesn't sound like the intensity, but I'll always love you till we're 80, 90, 100 years old.
Of course.
And that to me is the definition of love.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's great.
So building on the whole second half concept, let's talk about some other things, right? Like, which love story would you want in real life? Between Eternity, Rental Family, and
between those three?
In Wuthering Heights, yeah.
Probably Rental Family.
Yeah?
Because you're paid for one reason, but then you naturally realize the love to it. And then you realize the money's not worth it. So you realize that love conquers money kind of thing.
I think for me, it's the Eternity one.
I know.
Wow, that was a very quick, I know. Why? Why do you think I would pick Eternity?
That's just your hopeless romantic type thing.
I guess.
But, I mean, I get why. The least one is going to be
Wuthering Heights.
Mind you, the next question, which one makes the best movie? For us, it's not Wuthering Heights. But for some people, it will be Wuthering Heights, right?
Fair. But
which one makes the best movie?
For me, just to go quickly back to the first question, was the reason why I would pick Eternity is because, again, fine, helpless romantic in me. The idea that we can pick an eternity after we've passed, that we're going to spend our entire lives together, to me is beyond sensational. Like, I think that's what I aspire for, is knowing that even after I've passed, I'm going to spend it with the one person I want to spend it with. In a
random world, too.
Exactly. That we can choose.
Yeah, which I agree. That's it's a good answer.
But which one makes the best movie?
Probably. I mean, Eternity was a great movie, but so was Rental Family.
I think between those two are the better movies for sure.
I think which one makes the best is Eternity, because there's such a variety of like different worlds you can choose. You can make a bunch of ideas and stuff.
I think for the drama of it and the funniness of it and the relatability of it all, I think Eternity ends up being better. I still really liked Rental Family. I think Rental Family comes in at a very close second.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wuthering Heights is not our kind of movie.
No.
And then finally, which relationship would absolutely exhaust you emotionally?
So, Rental Family.
Oh, no, not for me.
Emotionally exhaust you because you're being paid to act as someone's father who they never had.
Yeah, but I couldn't put up emotionally having the intensity of the Wuthering Heights.
I understand. If it would exhaust you if it's an affair, I think. If it's just a two lovers type thing, but not an affair, I don't think that would exhaust you as emotionally as it would if it was an affair between two people.
But knowing that it's built on intensity, right? So that means every lustful moment is so intense, it's amazing.
Sure.
But every argument is way more that way. Any kind of disagreement feels like an absolute blowout. Any slight sorrow becomes devastatingly
Sure.
betrayal. Like it feels like so many heavy emotions consistently building.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the happiest moments would be the happiest moments, but it'd be like the smallest disagreement becomes absolutely gut wrenching.
Yeah.
So I think the one that, if we go between Eternity and that, I think
Eternity, no, I wouldn't.
No, between Eternity and Rental Family as being more exhausting. I agree with you. Rental Family is definitely more exhausting than Eternity.
Oh,
But
Wuthering Heights. Yeah, those two I think are. I guess I'll stick with
You can say
Rental
Rental.
Family. No, I know, but together these films do suggest something powerful. Love isn't one thing because it can heal, it can endure, but it can also consume, and also sometimes it can do all three.
I think that's the definition of love, is that it is all three at different times.
Okay, so to kind of finish it off, instead of a Did We Know, we are going to do our best and worst of January.
Because we should have done this last week, and we completely forgot of doing it last week, so we're doing it now.
Okay, so I'm going to read, or we are going to read every other movie from the first time we watched it in January till the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start off with We Bury the Dead,
Is This Thing On?
Primate,
Dead Man's Wire,
28 Years Later, The Bone Temple,
Charlie the Wonder Dog,
Mercy,
Return to Silent Hill,
Send Help.
and finally, Shelter.
Okay, so what was your best movie
Oh,
of this one?
gosh. So just reference, we're going off of our letterbox, which has a diary of every movie we've seen, starting from the beginning of last year, 2025, to now. Man.
Our top rated on Letterboxd was Is This Thing On? And our
Right.
least one was Return to Silent Hill. I kind of still agree with that because I did really enjoy Is This Thing On? But
It did come out last year. So we watched it in January. It came out like middle of December of last year. I agree. I think that is the best movie.
I'm also torn between...
If we're gonna go by movies that came out 2026, I think Send Help is better than Mercy.
I'm going to say Send Help for a 2026 movie. Overall, what we saw in January, I'm going to stick with Is This Thing On?
I completely agree with that. I think that
But
is the best one.
The worst one
Is
easily Return to Silent Hill. Like
100%.
It is. We gave it half a star because we couldn't give it no stars. So
I think it's like that. It's in the conversation of worst we've ever seen. I don't think it's the worst we've ever seen, but it's definitely in the conversation of worst. Yeah, I don't know. I think for best, it's going to be a tough sell. I'll be honest with you. January is always the weakest in movies every year.
except for Life of Chuck and Better
No,
Man.
Life and Chuck came out till November of of the year before. Is a Better Man was the only difference, and even Better Man came out before. We just couldn't see it then. But anyway, January usually the weakest one, so take this with a grain of salt. I mean, the fact that Return to Silent Hill is the weakest of the weakest month, take that as the biggest alarm bell to never see this movie. That being said, I think Send Help is definitely the best in January. Mercy's close there, but I know a lot of people don't like Mercy. And then if you have not seen Is This Thing On, I think you're really missing out on a very
Heartwarming.
Canadian film.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking because it's Canadian. But
I say Canadian because Will Arnett. But
ironically, a good movie came out. We saw it in January was Canadian, and one in February was also Canadian that we loved. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you still haven't seen Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, please watch it.
Yeah.
It's finally out now, actually, because when we saw it, we were a week early. So now
it's a surprise premiere.
Now it's out. I would really, 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 really recommend it. It is phenomenally funny. I think we gave it a 9.5 altogether. It is absolutely. It's one of the movies I think I could have rated a 10 easily.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, do you want to wrap up or should I this time?
Who did it last time?
I don't know.
I can do it.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Thanks so much for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. Please tell all the people you know or don't know about the podcast. We do appreciate the word of mouth very, very, very much. If you are not already following us on all socials, it is at the A-List Admission on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, and then A-List Pod on X and Letterboxd. We also do have short form content in forms of reels and shorts on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. We host and post Popper Flops. As soon as we see a movie, we share it to our story. So you can see it that way right out of the movie. And just remember that these are truly our opinions and our opinions only. If you have thoughts about us reviewing it, that's fine. Too bad.
Let us know in the comment section below on any platform.
Yes. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, rate us 5 stars if you can. But if you don't want to rate us 5 stars, please let us know what you think we deserve. But we want to hear from you. I think that's the biggest thing for us is we want to hear from our fans, from our disgruntled patients. What you name it? We want to hear it all. Please share it to everyone, like Cheyenne said. Yeah, just thanks for the ride for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and
we'll see you at the movies.
See you there. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.